Smile, everyone. Hello, everyone, and all the Yatris. Welcome to the third edition of the Yatri Story, JYNCR, on creative entrepreneurs. This is an independent initiative to recognize the efforts of the JYNCR group Yatris in their respective field of work and know them in a better way. The initiative is organized voluntarily by a group of Yatris every month, and you can find our interactions in the previous chapters on YouTube. So I'll just introduce myself. I'm Punit Gandhi, Yatri 15, and so I'm currently working as a fellow with Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs on Smart Cities mission. Before this, I had my own firm in Bombay where we used to do consultancy in rooftop solar sector, and I have been working in the rooftop solar sector or renewable energy sector for more than 5 years now. Recently, I started a podcast called Understanding the Future. The idea is to talk about different fields and understand where they are right now and how would they proceed ahead in the future based on people working in that field's expertise. So I don't get like I just ask them questions and they talk about what will come next. That is currently being sponsored by or is under Climate Center for Cities under Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So to start off, I will call in Astha Chaudhary. Welcome, Astha. Welcome to the Yatri story. So Astha, hi. Astha is a founder of Craftspire. Her focus area is textile and craft design.
So I'm basically a textiles and a craft designer, and I'm I'm working on my new initiative called Craftspire, and doing hand embroidered pieces and working with women near my hometown.
So to start off, I would like our audience to know about your government role before you started off your own company and then Craftspire and everything, and how your government role kind of helped you in developing this kind of your own company and on your own journey.
So yeah, so I did my course in craft and designing, where I learned and studied about the textiles and how handicrafts are being made, how the clusters make products. So while all this, after this, I joined this National Center for Design and Product Development, where so Ministry of Textiles Department called Development Commissioner of Handicrafts. So we have this skill development programs for others, right? So same way we have this art development, design and development workshop for the artisans and for the clusters. So जो भी communities और clusters में कोई भी craft में काम होता है, तो वहाँ पे we develop new designs as per the market taste with them. So I started going and conducting these workshops, and I went to take workshops on my own there, and I'll work with artisans and communities there. So with me, there would be like 30 artisans and communities. मतलब मेरे मम्मी पापा की एज के लोग होंगे वहाँ पे जो मेरे साथ वहाँ पे काम करते थे एंड तो व्हाट हैपेंस कि जब मैं वहाँ जाती थी तो उन लोगों के साथ में आई वुड फर्स्ट आई हैड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि वो उन लोगों का क्या क्राफ्ट है और वो क्या काम कर रहे हैं, उनकी ट्रेडिशनल स्किल्स। तो पहले मैं अगर कोई माइंडसेट बना के भी जाती थी, तो जब मैं वहाँ जाती थी तब मुझे पता चलता था कि कोई पर्टिकुलर काम ये इनका स्टाइल कैसे है और उसके अकॉर्डिंग मुझे उनके साथ डिजाइन डेवलप करने होते थे। So first I'll understand their skill set, what they have. I'll do a little bit of research work there, work with them. And then with all those skill sets, I'll work with the community, sit with them, talk to them for a month. I'll be staying with the community itself. So we would take classes there, and so I'll work with them and develop new designs. So about ऐसे कि in a month we would have 30 plus designs we will develop with them, understanding their skill set. तो ऐसे करके I have taken workshops in Jodhpur and Saharanpur. I visited. I went to Rewari cluster. I did a workshop in Delhi and फिरोजाबाद में भी मैं गई थी. वहाँ की कांच इंडस्ट्री मैंने पूरा देखा. वो कांच के सारे जो बैंगल्स बनाते हैं वो. तो ऐसे ही अलग अलग जगह मुझे क्लस्टर दे दिए जाते थे कि यहाँ जाना है, यहाँ डेवलपमेंट करना है और प्रोडक्ट्स बनाना है. तो लाइकवाइज आई वेंट देयर. तो जैसे जैसे मैं प्रोसेस में इन्वॉल्व होने लगी, मुझे समझ में आया कि कैसे पर्टिकुलरली अगर मैं कम्युनिटीज के साथ काम करना है तो कैसे काम करना है, और हम कैसे इनको एक सोशल इम्पैक्ट, मतलब बिकॉज कहीं ना कहीं मैं उन लोगों के साथ काम करके उनकी लाइफ में कुछ इम्पैक्ट डाल रही थी. जैसे जैसे मैं उनके साथ काम करती थी मुझे समझ में आता था कि यार आई एम मेकिंग सच सम डिफरेंस इन देयर लाइव्स बाय वर्किंग. बिकॉज क्या होता था कि बहुत सारे ट्रेडिशनल क्राफ्ट्स हैं और बहुत सारे आर्टिसंस हैं जो अभी जो नई जनरेशन है वो नहीं आना चाहती इस क्राफ्ट में, और वो नहीं करना चाहती कि बहुत लेबरस वर्क है और पीपल उसको, लोग उसको वैल्यू नहीं करते, तो दे डोंट वांट टू कम. सो आई व्हेन आई वुड वर्क विद द आर्टिसंस, तो ऐसा होता था कि बहुत सारी बारी जब मैं उन लोगों के साथ काम करती थी, आई वुड व्हाटएवर नॉलेज आई हैड आई विल गिव देम कि ये सब आप कर सकते हैं, एंड दिस इज द मार्केट, यू हैव टू टैप द राइट मार्केट फॉर योर पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट व्हाट यू आर मेकिंग, and you have to make the products as the market taste. तो ट्रेडिशनल को कंटेम्प्रेरी बनाएंगे तो आपके प्रोडक्ट्स चलेंगे. तो जैसे जैसे ये सब वर्कशॉप्स करते गई, और क्या होता था कि वर्कशॉप्स में एक चीज जो मुझे कमी लगती थी वो ये कि लोगों के पास में सब है, बट ये मार्केट टेस्ट के बाद में हम लोग प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन भी करते थे. दे हैड एन अपॉर्चुनिटी कि मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ so through that, all this hard bazaars, Delhi Hat, everybody, most of them, most of people knows. तो दिल्ली हाट में भी जो एग्जीबिशंस और जो स्टॉल्स लगते हैं वहाँ पे इन लोगों को स्पेस मिलती है आर्टिसंस को. अब नाउ व्हाट द कांस्टेंट वाज कि वो स्टेप आउट कौन करे, घर के बाहर कौन निकले और वहाँ तक मार्केट तक जाए. तो ये एक गैप मुझे अधिकतर उन लोगों के साथ लगती थी कि this is the gap that they have to step out and go and make see the market. At least by knowing the market they'll know ki what they can what people, what their end consumers are liking. So as per that, if they'll make products, their products will sell, and then it will the process will go, their cycle will go. तो वो गैप को मुझे एक लगा कि एक ये गैप है जो मैं कम कर सकती हूँ. तो जितना भी अभी तक मेरे पास नॉलेज था मैं उतना उनको शेयर करती थी. मेरे को जो प्लेटफॉर्म्स पता थे मैं उन्हें वो शेयर करती थी. अभी मुझे लगा कि अभी ज़रूरत है कि like everybody is promoting local for vocal, and we should be vocal for our handicrafts and our artisans. We should support them. So through all this I started by taking some baby steps, sustaining myself and then sustaining every all these craftsmen, I can join them together and take it forward.
Absolutely. And Craftspire does something on these lines as well as your Studio Moirai. So can you just give some brief about what does Craftspire do and what did Studio Moirai do?
Yeah. So I talk about Studio Moirai first. So after my job work, me and my friend, we started this Studio Moirai initiative. And there we had this thing कि कुछ craft community से related काम करेंगे, उन लोगों को uplift करेंगे और उनके साथ कुछ काम करेंगे. There, but so we were in Delhi, and from a friend or friends, so they were doing some project work for a building in Bhopal. They were doing a renovation of 100-year-old building called it was called Minto Hall in Bhopal. They were doing this renovation. So they wanted some textiles wall panels. So they approached us ki we wanted huge textiles wall panels for the main hall in the building. Will you be able to do, or will you collaborate? And we're like, okay, it's nice, fun to we'll do this project. And we did this project. Then we got one more opportunity to work with in IGNCA. So वो बा बापू एंड शिल्प कला करके एक एग्जीबिशन लगा था IGNCA में with संपूर्ण बैम्बू कैंप. तो वहाँ पे भी वो फॉर शिल्पकार के लिए एग्जीबिशंस था. वहाँ पे आर्टिसंस आने थे एंड दे विल पुट अप देयर स्टॉल. तो वो पूरा एग्जीबिशन स्पेस से डिजाइन करना था. तो हम लोग ने वो स्पेस डिजाइन किया. तो हम लोग क्या हुआ कि वो स्पेस डिजाइन और ये ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट डिजाइन में हमको बहुत इंटरेस्ट आने लग गया और हम वो ज्यादा करने लगे. तो कहीं ना कहीं जो हमारा मेन पर्पस था कि हम क्राफ्ट क्लस्टर्स और कम्युनिटीज के साथ काम करने वाले हैं, वो कहीं थोड़ा सा एक हो रहा था कि छूट रहा था, या उस वक्त हम लीड नहीं ले पा रहे थे. एंड देन दिस कोविड सिचुएशन हैपेंड. मीनवाइल भी मैंने फिर कुछ और प्रोजेक्ट्स करे थे. We thought कि maybe we'll do this exhibition design and space design in Studio Moira thing. So all this while when I was मतलब बिकॉज मैं शुरू से कम्युनिटीज के साथ काम करती थी, तो इट मेड मी हैप्पी बिकॉज आई एम मेकिंग सम इम्पैक्ट इन देयर लाइव्स. तो मुझे वो खुशी मिलती थी कि उन लोगों के साथ काम करने में. तो वो सबको मैं सोचते हुए मैंने क्राफ्ट मार्क करके है आइका. आई विल टेल अबाउट इट. So ICA is an All India Artisan and Welfare Association. It's in Delhi and it established in 2004. And ICA initiated this craft mark, which craft mark is a mark that if Aditya can show the mark, I'll tell. Yeah. So this is a craft mark. It indicates that a particular product is a handmade process and it is an authentic and genuine handcrafted process. So I connected with them and I was working with them, and as an associated I used to travel to the clusters and document and do the details, take out the data for them. So Craftmark, I'll tell more about Craftmark. If anybody of you see, most of you guys know Fab India. So if you see, if you buy any product, or if you just see any product, and if you see the tags with that particular product, and you see about Craftmark, you can actually see that your particular product, where it is coming from, and what is the process of that particular product.
Yeah, great.
So,
I think that's really interesting, and I think we will come back with a lot of questions on that in our question and answer round. We are running out of time, and sorry for that. I'm sure there are still a lot of interesting stories ahead. Thank you, Asta. Thanks a lot for sharing your story. Our next speaker for today's Yatri story is Chetan Soni. He is a Kindle author and a publisher, and also a founder of Half Baked Beans. Welcome, Chetan, to the Yatri story.
Hi, Preeti. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Currently, I'm running a writing and publishing platform. The previous 5-6 years, there have been a couple of other ventures as well, which we started and then we shut down or closed or put them on a break for some time. So let's see that what holds in the future. Yeah, by education, I'm engineer MBA, the normal middle class education classification जो होता है. उसके बाद फिर then I worked for a year, and then since like 5-6 years I've been working on my own.
So Chetan, you also started off the Half Baked Beans when you were still in college. Before Half Baked Beans, also you had something on lines of a Facebook page that started. Can you share briefly the story about that and how it translated to Half Baked Beans?
Yeah, so when I decided to start a publishing house, So I needed some time to prepare for the publishing house, to start actually to begin the operations, to find the vendors, basically printers and like editors and other people, the cover designers. So before that, I had started this page called Half Baked Beans. When we decided after we had decided the name and all that, the page was there, because that Facebook page was only going to be the source of communication to people from Half Baked Beans. So for 6 months we had this page which grew organically, and this was around 2013 when organic growth was there on social media, when organic growth was there on Facebook. अभी तो बहुत कम है. So उस time पर around I remember कि we had reached 5,000 likes organically. It was a very big milestone because very less pages were there which had organically 5,000 likes in 2013. So I think that gave us a little bit of credibility when we actually launched operations in 2014, starting May, January, May, that there is a social media page and the boom was coming up. So you could say that it was started as a page. The idea was obviously to start a publishing house, but I think the idea of Facebook page was to create a platform or to create a place where people can showcase their work, where people can showcase the written work or something of that sort. Because because as I said कि that time usually लोगों के pages तो होते नहीं थे खुद writing pages, and एक आपको उस author को भी writer को भी credibility मिलती थी if some other page is your work. So that also kind of started that trust factor between Half Baked Beans and people online.
That's very interesting. I find it very interesting that how something that starts as just a concept turns into a reality at certain point of time. So could you share with us a bit about, because the publishing industry is quite a complex industry. It also has a lot of legacy in it. So can you share with us something on those lines, that how have you navigated through it and what are some of the challenges in daily operations and all?
There were a lot of challenges when we started out. As you said, there is very less information available about publishing houses, and that is what I also knew at that time. That publishing houses I thought कि simple सा काम है, books होती है, print होती है, और उसके बाद वो market में जाती है, it sells, and you get money. So even I was not aware कि अच्छा इसमें और niches कितनी सारी होती हैं, complexities कितनी सारी होती हैं. So you could say that actually I started without planning. And that kind of backfired also sometimes, and that kind of helped also sometimes, because I had like no clue कि what is right or what is wrong. So for the initial 1 or 2 years, it was like more about hit and कि ये भी कर सकते हैं, ये भी कर सकते हैं. तो उसका अच्छी बात ये थी कि कर सकते हैं because we had that independence. But if I had like pre notions, अगर मैं publishing houses के बारे में ज्यादा रिसर्च करता और देखता कि कैसे वर्कआउट करते हैं, तो शायद अगर मैं उस पाथ पे जाने की कोशिश करता तो it would not have worked for me personally.
Yeah.
So that was like very helpful in the first 2 years. So there were times like when we committed a lot of mistakes, but I think the part was, since there was no baggage on me, so I could even accept those mistakes and like then move on. So हाँ, complexities ये थी कि that you are actually so as you said कि what were the complexities? There were like general complexities as well, and they were specifically related to publishing houses also. So when I started, or when we started, I was starting under the notion that it is a startup. That ये startup है जिसको 2, 3, 4, 5 साल के बाद प्रॉब्लम में एग्जिट कर सकता हूँ या फिर मैं बहुत बड़ा कर सकता हूँ इसको. लेकिन 2-3 साल के बाद I realized that this is not a startup. This is like a venture. This is like a venture or like a small business. तो वो जो उस चीज को समझने के बाद probably things became a little bit smoother in my mind, and वो complexity इसलिए 2-3 साल तक आती रही starting में, because I was under the notion that I have to work like a startup, which was not happening. And probably that is what was clashing with my thought process and the function. But after 2-3 years, when I kind of figured it out, this is not a startup, and this is like which will grow organically and on its own, and I have that freedom to do stuff on my own. That was the whole point of it. Because एक startup के बाद you would know that once your equity is gone or once your funding is there, then you don't have that much control over things as you would have when it was like small. So that was kind of more of a personal thing. Do I want to go with that thought process कि हाँ कि छोटा ही रहे लेकिन अपना रहे, या फिर उसको बहुत बड़ा करना है, या फिर उस तरह से काम करना. That I think those initial 2-3 years also like gave me that realization that okay, this is the kind of work which I am enjoying. This is what I might not enjoy. So then I would venture it out in that direction. So yeah, complexities as a business, I think जो इंडिया में होती हैं, registration की, there are a lot of formalities actually for a small business to register and to have a proper address. तो एक मुझे जो instance याद है वो ये याद है कि दैट वी वर नॉट एबल टू गेट अ बैंक अकाउंट फॉर अस बिकॉज उन्होंने बैंक ने बोला कि वी नीड अ फिजिकल प्रूफ ऑफ द बिजनेस कि एक जगह पर है फिजिकली बिजनेस एग्जिस्ट करता है एंड बोर्ड लगा सब कुछ है. देन आई वाज लाइक कि जब तक अकाउंट नहीं खुलेगा तब तक वो कैसे खर्चा कैसे होगा उस चीज का खर्चा तो दिखाना चाहिए ना अकाउंट के अंदर. सो दिस वाज काइंड ऑफ अ catch-22 काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम कि बैंक कह रहा है कि नहीं पहले आप फिजिकल स्पेस दिखाओ तब अकाउंट खोलेंगे. एंड आई वाज लाइक अकाउंट खोलने के बाद तो खर्चा कर सकते हैं आपको दिखाने के लिए. तो देन आई रियलाइज कि आगे कितनी फाइट है एक्चुअली. तो इंडिया में वो तो चीज इतनी स्मूथ नहीं है. वो सिर्फ फॉर लाइक अ स्मॉल बिजनेस टू लाइक डू थिंग्स ऑन योर ओन. तो वो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज है. एंड फॉर अ ट्रेडिशनल पब्लिशिंग बिजनेस देयर वाज दिस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बिकॉज आई हैड नो इन्फॉर्मेशन, आई हैड नो knowledge. In my family there was like no background of somebody into publishing or writing, so that way वो challenges भी थे.
True. So one other question that कि अभी आपने काफी सारी चीजें कोविड के साथ you have also shifted your marketing and everything, और उस पे आपने अभी काफी सारे कॉन्टेस्ट किए फेसबुक पे. थोड़ा उसके बारे में और डिटेल्स मिल सकता है?
Yeah,
to inspire writing for people.
Yeah. So see, online events were always a plan, but we thought that we'll take it slow types. That some कुछ event कराएंगे online and फिर धीरे उसको बढ़ाएंगे. So what happened during the pandemic, during COVID was कि मार्च में जब वो लॉकडाउन हुआ तो उसके बाद सडनली जो पब्लिशिंग वाला जो आर्म था हमारा वो सडनली फ्री हो गया या फिर हॉल्ट हो गया बिकॉज प्रिंटिंग वाज नॉट हैपनिंग, डिलीवरीज वर नॉट हैपनिंग थ्रू Amazon. तो 2 महीने के लिए 3 महीने के लिए सब कुछ वो बंद टाइप हो गया. So at that moment I realized कि that अच्छा ही हुआ कि I am not that traditional बड़ा वाला चीज, वरना तो मैं ये सर्वाइव ही नहीं कर पाता 3-4 महीने बिकॉज आपका जीरो रेवेन्यू हो गया है. तो आप कैसे सर्वाइव करोगे? कुछ तो आपको फिर ड्रास्टिक डिसीजन लेने पड़ेंगे सर्वाइव करने के लिए अगर आपका रेवेन्यू जीरो ही हो जाए तो. So for us that publishing arm became zero, but since we had good presence online over the years which we have built that following on Instagram and Facebook and like other platform, Twitter, sometimes Twitter as well. So उस पे then we decided to have lot more online contest. तो हमने सारी thematic online contest करी जिसमें आपको probably कभी कभी किसी contest में सिर्फ एक poem share करनी थी, किसी में आपको एक story submit करनी थी. So the different kind of contest. So you could say that personally I applied the rule of gamification to these contests. तो मुझे वो बड़ा सही अच्छा लगा वो कॉन्सेप्ट जो है गेमिफिकेशन का कि हाँ कि लोग चाहते हैं कि हम फर्स्ट आए. तो वो चीज है कि आपको जीतने की वो कुछ ना कुछ आई थिंक दैट यू नीड दैट काइंड ऑफ वैलिडेशन समथिंग ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट. तो देन आई काइंड ऑफ अप्लाइड दैट कॉन्सेप्ट कि अगर हर कॉन्टेस्ट को अलग अलग तरीके से प्रमोट किया जाए, अलग अलग कॉन्टेस्ट अलग अलग प्राइजेस हो उसमें. So and then internally I just thought that this is a kind of opportunity also I am adding for somebody who's sitting somewhere in a remote area. You have internet access, you can participate in a contest and actually win cash prizes for writing, which is very rare in India generally. That writing के लिए आपको cash prizes बहुत कम मिलते हैं. Generally writers को वैसे ड्यू भी नहीं मिलता अपना तो generally, and आपको पैसे तो वैसे भी बहुत कम लोग देते हैं. So that kind of I think gave that empowering thought to me that okay, the main idea which was there 4, 5, 6 years back to provide a platform to amateur writers for like Amazon to make publishing accessible, because I think सबसे बड़ी जो बात थी information भी नहीं थी and लोगों को पता भी नहीं था कि publish कैसे कराएं या कैसे होते हैं पब्लिश. आई थिंक 10 साल पहले तो कुछ भी किसी को नहीं पता था कि पब्लिश कैसे होती हैं बुक्स. दैट वाज एन डिफरेंट एंटिटी ऑलटुगेदर. सो दैट वाज आई थिंक द काइंड ऑफ थॉट प्रोसेस बिहाइंड टू मेक पब्लिशिंग एक्सेसिबल पीपल सो दैट इट बिकम्स ईजियर फॉर देम टू अप्रोच पब्लिशर्स. कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको हाँ this also I saw that a lot most of the publishers in India are family owned. वो प्रॉपर चल रहे हैं बिजनेस 40-50 साल से. So then I don't have to like leave a legacy right now. Probably that is like things to be like taken care of in the future. I think the best part was to have that freedom to do like things on your own and in and around the writing sector, in and around the publishing sector, without changing the core values. You can have like different experiment on your own. That I think gives the freedom to do things.
Absolutely. And that's and I do believe gamification is an important element now in everyone's life. हम कुछ भी ले रहे हैं, हमारा Instagram भी eventually gamification पे ही चलता है. So that is absolutely true. I will have to move to the next speaker, but I do personally have a question for you in our Q&A section. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Chetan. The next speaker with us is Mudit. Mudit is ideator for Folklores India, and they have a really interesting handcrafted artisan-made clothing. So welcome Mudit to the Yatri story.
Hi, thank you. And we'll make clothing for women. So the basic purpose of doing this is to be able to help artisans, especially women artisans, to establish a small enterprise of their own in the back end. So that's what we've been doing in the past 3 years.
So I would like our audience to know more about the story you and your sister share with this Folklores India, which is very inspiring.
Um, when my mother was 25 years of age, she wanted to start something like this. So she wanted to sell handmade clothing. She was very much interested, and I don't know why was she interested because she never had this kind of education or anything. And 25 years later, on her 50th birthday, my sister and I started this business and gave it to her as a gift that she could go back and work for the very first time in her life. And so that was basically her entrepreneurial journey that started at the age of 50. So this business was a gift to her. And I think the inspiration behind starting it was her, obviously, because she was the one always interested in handcrafted clothing, and all sorts of things. So that's the story behind the business.
True, true. And but I should also commend you guys on the things that you and your sister both are not from textile field or handicraft field or clothing field. So how did you jump in? What was your strategy? What did you guys think before getting into this whole ecosystem?
Uh, I think when I was a kid, I had basically three dreams, I'd say. So I wanted to be a tailor, and I wanted to be a farmer, and I wanted to be a Harijan. So I saw people clean the roads every day in the morning. That was the first thing I saw. We lived in an area where there was a park, so there were a lot and lots of leaves falling each day. So that was the first thing I saw. And then I don't know why I said I wanted to become a farmer, and I don't know why I said I wanted to become a tailor. So I think it is a manifestation of those childhood dreams. So
Yeah.
I think I am a tailor now, so I am selling clothes. So one dream is in check and two more to go.
I hope
So
you are able to fulfill those two other dreams as
thank
well.
you, thank you, thank you, thanks so much. I hope that too. And
And
so
sorry, you were saying something.
no, you go ahead, please.
No, I was coming to the next question. So finish it
Oh,
first and then.
before that, I have to say that I studied my master's in innovation and entrepreneurship, and I did my project in social entrepreneurship. So that is one thing. I always wanted to get into a business that gave back in some form. So
Yeah,
that was one inspiration behind what I do and why I do it. So
true.
yeah.
That's great. And like our last speaker, Chetan, you guys have also started something online community. You guys are also trying to help each other out, all the people in this industry. Can you share a bit about that as well?
Yeah, around 15th of March, we shut operations in the front end. Okay, we realized the situation isn't really good, and we kind of took a sabbatical till April end.
Yeah.
We were just chilling, it's lockdown, and we want to enjoy this time. And then it was too much. So 45 days were too much to be not working. And then starting May, we thought that I think we haven't ever done online, so this is probably the time to start something online. So we also realized that it wasn't the best time to be selling clothes online or going out for a photo shoot or things like that. So we started building a community of art loving people. So we brought in our artisans and artisans otherwise who were kind of active on Instagram, basically. And we took free workshops with them. So for a couple of weeks, we did these live shows. We did a hands-on training. People made whatever they learned. They sent it to us, and we posted it on our stories. Then we started collaborating with small businesses,
Yeah.
and we started cross promoting our products. So they promoted our page, we promoted their page, and they became partners for each week um, this workshop, art workshop. So now, after a couple of weeks, we had one artisan every Sunday, us connect in the workshop, and then
Yeah.
partner, a small business whom we promoted, and they promoted us. So that's how we built online audience. So, and then
That
eventually sales started in the month of August and September and October.
Absolutely, and that's a great initiative. I shall say that because you are helping out people far out as well as much as possible, and
A
this
lot of
brings
people, saw that we were openly bringing on artisans on board. So a lot of
yeah,
people question, ki, wouldn't people just directly buy from them, and why would you be in the middle? I mean, it doesn't make business sense, to be honest.
yeah,
कि आपको मार के दूसरा वहां से ले लेगा,
yeah,
XYZ. And we really didn't care. Probably we were just too passionate about bringing the artisans on board. सामने
yeah.
उनका फेस दिखाई देना चाहिए था, and we didn't really, and it hasn't really uh, affected in a affected us in any bad way. So I don't think it was a bad decision. अभी तक तो नहीं लगता. So
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. And this does bring that whole complexity of starting any business, that how difficult it is to start a business and run a business. Any specific advice would you have for people who are starting, because it's a lot of ups and downs for sure. And what does anyone think about before they get into any kind of business that they want?
uh, being brutally honest, if you do not have perseverance, do not start a business. I mean, it sounds very pessimistic or whatever it does. I don't know, but it is really difficult. And every day, each morning is a fight. If you're not ready and if you're not willing to fight each morning, it's I'm sorry, it's not for you. So I mean, it's not easy. It's never been easy for me. It's never been easy for my colleagues. It's never been easy for my friends. All those who are engaged in business, who started their own business. Unless I mean, it becomes a little easier if you have something already established and you go and join it. Still a fight. Even job is a fight. Everything is difficult in life, but to be able to keep yourself motivated each day, every morning, it becomes a little difficult. So, if you're willing to take that kind of a challenge on,
True, and I do resonate with that with my the business that I had, and I had to shut it down. So I absolutely feel what you're saying there. It does require a lot
and
of
and I
perseverance.
think quitting is for winners. Quitting is not for losers. So, at any moment in time, if people start a business and they have to close it, I don't think it's a shame. I will never think it is a shame. It's a very, very bold decision, and people have to take it in time. So when the lockdown happened, I was on the verge of, uh, I had these thoughts in my mind that maybe it is time for me to shut down. I probably can't survive the next 6 months. Everything is gone, everything is finished, and things like that. And so all of those thoughts and things come to you. And again, in 3 words, quitting is for winners. It's not for losers. It's for the winners.
Yeah, and I would just like to add one small thought to it, that I think with perseverance you need a lot of optimism to it with it as well. That you will win, you will win, you will win one day. And
And that is the most difficult part of doing a business. It is not the business.
yeah,
Business तो बहुत easily हो जाता है. But to be able to keep yourself going each day, each morning, that is the difficult part.
true. Agreed. Agreed. Thanks a lot, Mudit, for sharing your story. We will get back to you with more questions in our Q&A round. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Our next speaker is Shreya Agarwal. She is independent social media consultant, a writer, and a nutritionist. She has worked and likes to work in plant-based lifestyle, animal welfare, education, health, diversity and inclusion. Her writing is in all these different fields.
I'm a content writer, social media manager, and a plant-based nutritionist. So I went to Jagrati Yatra in 17 batch.
Welcome, Shreya, to the Yatra story.
Thank you so much.
So, tell us about your journey, because you also had a very nice circle coming around. You started as a nutritionist and now you are again coming back to that circle. If you can just share your journey around that, it would be great.
Okay. So I'll talk about my career as a writer first.
Yeah.
And it started with a blog. So primarily I felt that I just wanted to express, and writing was something that I was very comfortable with. I felt it came to me naturally, and I did not have to put any effort into it. So I started my blog by the name The Introvert, and I used to write poems there. After I started this blog after I completed my graduation. So within 6 months, I got to know that there are certain opportunities where I could maybe intern or take up a job. And my parents were more inclined towards me, pursuing my career as a nutritionist.
Yeah.
So that was the time when I think I just took a call and I took a leap of faith. So despite being an introvert, my first job was in a PR company, and my role was to interview celebrities. So
Wow.
it went on for some time, like maybe for a year, about a year, and then I felt that I'm getting a lot of exposure, but I don't think I'm making a name for myself as a writer because everything was anonymous. I was in a way ghostwriting.
Yeah.
So after that, I did not care about how much I was getting paid and everything. For me, I was very happy that I was just getting to write somewhere. So I think the next 2 to 3 years, I just explored a lot of things, working with newspapers, magazines, and web portals where I would maybe get a byline. So I used to fish for all these things initially, and I just thought that I should just get maximum exposure because nobody in my circle was in this field, and I also did not have any academic qualification in in anything related to writing per se. So that is how it went on. And then came Jagriti Yatra 2018, 17, 18. So that was the time during the Yatra, I felt that there is so much to do. And there were people from so many fields with so much, it was a very, everything was very rich in terms of learning and in terms of a lot of basically a lot of exposure. And I felt that I should also do something which is not just limited to me. It should maybe benefit somebody else, if it could create some nice opportunities for others also. So this was just the thought behind me taking up more jobs in the social impact sector later on. So from 2018, I've been more focused on taking projects which create social impact, and I've been trying to cater to as many as I feel I can resonate with. And because a full-time job does not allow a person to take up too many things at the same time, and initially because I had a very exploration kind of a mindset, so I freelanced majorly and was part-timing. Um, Later on, I did take up a couple of full-time jobs. Currently, I'm working with FIAPO, which is a Federation of Indian Animal Protection Organizations. I'm working with them as a social media analyst. But on the side, I'm also like doing certain things in terms of like environment and majorly environment, but also the other things that you mentioned.
Yeah, I will just point out to audience, she's underselling herself. She has at least like 6 jobs right now, and that is like in different format, small jobs, big jobs, everything combined together. And it does require, I think, a lot of time management per se when you have different kinds of, you are a social media consultant for some people, you are a writer for some people, you're writing in different sectors as well. So how do you find that balance in that whole ecosystem? Because I feel as a creative person as well, that would become very important point, that while catering to different businesses or different work places, you need to also be creative for each one of them in different aspects. So how do you find yourself centered around that whole ecosystem?
I think sometimes it's just that because I feel driven, it does not seem like a task to me to take on something apart from a full time job. Also, because of lockdown, I think I just felt that I should utilize my time properly. So I took a couple of things. To balance full-time jobs along with other freelancing projects, I think I just do certain things on the weekends and manage other things on weekdays majorly. And if I have a full-time job in writing, then I do something part-time in terms of nutrition consultations and vice versa.
Okay, great. And you also do share a very interesting life philosophy that we were talking about the process and journey of a creative person, that where does someone start and reaches up till the networking stage. If you can just share for our audience, that would be great.
All right. So I would just say that it is very important to have a high EQ, is what I've realized, because a lot of things take a toll on a person emotionally sometimes when somebody's trying to manage too many things. So at times it also makes one feel like that jack of all, master of none kind of a thing. But then no matter what I've done, I think my major focus has been on writing. So sometimes, uh, I hear that you're changing jobs or you're taking too many projects, maybe. But I think since 2015, I've stuck by this. Also, when it comes to work life and when it comes to learning, like the philosophy thing that you're saying. So regarding work life, I would say, like they say, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
So I ensure that my full time job, and is providing all the things that I need, say financially or in um, certain other ways. But when it comes to learning, I believe in that quote. I think it's by Bruce Lee. So he says that the usefulness of a cup is its emptiness. So they are contrasting things, but I've
Yeah.
tried to balance both of these things. Like whatever job I take up, I ensure that I'm getting to learn something there as well.
Yeah, that's a great thing to have, I feel, because I have also done a couple of freelancing gigs in last couple of years, and I think they do bridge the gap between your existing and the new job that can come up, because that is one of the best learning curves. I feel that you are giving still a less amount of time. You might not be paid or be paid, but you still end up learning a lot more things than you would otherwise. So that's for sure very interesting. Thank you, Shreya. Thanks a lot for all the insights from your career and your life. Our next speaker for today is Abhishek Vihan Sharma. Hi, Vihan.
Hi, how are you doing?
Uh, good. How are you doing?
एकदम first.
Should I call you Vihan or Abhishek? What do you
You can
prefer?
call me Vihan. Vihan is fine. Vihan is fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so he's a founder and CEO of My Design Minds. He's currently also on board with Zillion Designs and Digital Marketing Academy. That's quite a lot of things you are handling on your plate. And how do you manage that?
So the thing is, I started with My Design Minds initially, and we realized कि कुछ जगहों पर funds की बहुत requirements रहती है. So just to make sure कि हम पैसा और कहाँ से निकाल सकते हैं, I understood that I'm good at teaching people. So I started with this concept of Zillion Design and Digital Marketing Academy, जिसमें हम झांसी में students को जो industrial level का training होती है, जो actual training होती है, वो दे सके. Because I have worked in CAD center before as a center manager, and I have seen कि वहाँ students को जिस level की education दी जाती है, that is more into academic thing. मतलब आप book से पढ़ के कुछ set of कोर्सेज उनको सिखाते हो, दैट्स इट. आप इंडस्ट्रियल लेवल की कोई ट्रेनिंग उनको नहीं देते, कोई अपग्रेडेशन उनको नहीं देते. सो वी वांटेड टू पुट दैट इंडस्ट्रियल लेवल ट्रेनिंग इनटू क्लासरूम्स, जहाँ पे इंजीनियर्स जो डिजाइनर्स आते हैं वो प्रैक्टिकली हाथ में गेजेस, इक्विपमेंट्स और वो सारी चीज़ें लेके प्रैक्टिकली चीज़ें सीखें कि कैसे बनाते हैं, और उनको हम प्रमोट भी करें कि उनके बनाए हुए डिज़ाइन हम मैन्युफैक्चरिंग तक ले जाएं. सो दिस इज द पॉइंट वाज जहाँ हम हेल्प भी करना चाहते थे स्टूडेंट्स को बाय providing them quality education, as well as we wanted to earn from there so that we can invest in My Design Minds to purchase proper computer systems, proper softwares for providing design services to the industry.
Great. And so just to let audience know, My Design Minds in a creative space of designing in almost all fields. And how did this come up? Because you started off as a engineer who turned into a design engineer of products, and then now you are into UI and UX as well. Can you give a brief? How can you like go into a creative? You started off with a niche and just expanding your niche now.
So it was not created in a way कि जहाँ पे हम कुछ creative करने वाले हैं. It started with the period of 2008 US recession. जब मेरे फादर ने मुझे फोर्स किया to choose mechanical engineering rather than computer science engineering. So that moment it came in my mind कि यार ठीक है, अभी mechanical engineering कर लिया. I was more oriented to creative things. So I wanted to do something creative. So एक ही चीज मुझे दिखाई दी, I can be a design engineer. So I started learning design softwares and all. So I completed my product design and development thing. और वहाँ से काम करने के बाद I started working with CAD center, जहाँ पे मुझे सिविल CAD के बारे में, आर्किटेक्चरल CAD के बारे में, इंटीरियर CAD के बारे में सीखने को मिला, साथ में इलेक्ट्रिकल CAD के बारे में भी सीखने को मिला. एंड देन फिर मैंने कुछ जगहों पर जॉब चेंज की, एंड आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग 2-3 जॉब्स मैंने फिर डिजिटल मार्केटिंग कोर्स भी कंप्लीट किया, जहाँ से वेबसाइट डिज़ाइन और डिजिटल मार्केटिंग के बारे में जानने को मिला. आई स्टार्टेड लर्निंग अबाउट UI UX, क्रिएटिव ग्राफिक डिज़ाइन थिंग एज वेल, जो मैंने खुद से लर्न करना शुरू किया. सो ये एक पॉइंट था जिसकी वजह से आई कैन से कि मैं इतनी वास्ट फील्ड में काम कर रहा हूँ. The second reason was कि 2008 का recession was bad for everyone, and I was thinking from 2015 कि यार business start करना है, that should be recession proof, जहाँ पे कभी भी किसी भी point पे आपको पैसे के लिए परेशान ना होना पड़े और आपका business shut down ना हो. So it came in my mind कि यार कोई भी business shut down हो सकता है, but there is one business जो कि creative field में काम करता है, design field में काम करता है, उसको किसी भी point पे कभी ना कभी जरूरत होती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल लॉकडाउन अभी आया, वी स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग अबाउट इट इन 2016 के अगर दोबारा ये रिसेशन आता है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री शट डाउन हो जाती है, कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री शट डाउन हो जाती है फॉर सम रीजन, तो भी मार्केटिंग इंडस्ट्री विल बी देयर, तो भी डिजिटल मार्केटिंग इंडस्ट्री विल बी देयर. वहाँ पर वेबसाइट डिजाइन, ऐप डेवलपमेंट, इन सब चीज़ों की रहेगी ज़रूरत. तो वी स्टार्टेड विद दिस कॉन्सेप्ट कि किसी भी लेवल पे अगर एक सेक्टर शट डाउन होगा, दूसरा सेक्टर चला ही जाएगा, and we will make money from that also. So इसलिए हमने ये सारी सर्विसेज को एक जगह इनकॉर्पोरेट किया. The second point was कि मार्केट में we have seen कि फ्रीलांसर्स के साथ इश्यूज बहुत आते हैं. आप कई बार फ्रीलांसर्स को मार्केट में उठाते हो, there are reliability issues in terms of quality, in terms of time, in terms of working as well. कई बार फ्रीलांसर्स 2-3 दिन काम करते हैं, छोड़ के चले जाते हैं. So we wanted to bridge that gap by working as a company, जहाँ पर हम मल्टीपल फ्रीलांसर्स के साथ अभी एज ऑफ नाउ काम कर रहे हैं. वी हैव लॉन्ग टर्म टारगेट्स जहाँ पे हम सबको इन हाउस रखेंगे, सो दैट वी विल मेक श्योर कि किसी को भी क्वालिटी और टाइम में कहीं कोई प्रॉब्लम्स ना आए. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी स्टार्टेड विद. और तीसरा चीज जो हमने फील किया था कि देयर आर एन नंबर ऑफ डिजाइनर्स और कंपनीज इन द मार्केट. हर पर्सन को अपना अपना एक मार्जिन सेट करना होता है. So if a company requires design services on different stage of their operations, like starting में उनको logo चाहिए, website चाहिए, stationeries चाहिए, everything. And then if they are into manufacturing field, उनको फिर manufacturing के लिए product design चाहिए, mold design चाहिए, machines भी चाहिए. If they are into a bigger manufacturing company, वहाँ पे SPM machines चाहिए, proper automation control वगैरह का काम चाहिए. So उन सबको हम एक सर्विस प्रोवाइड करा सकते थे, जिसके थ्रू उनको बार बार अलग अलग कंपनीज के पास नहीं जाना पड़ता, वो हैसल कम करने के लिए. और साथ में जो ओवरऑल कॉस्टिंग होती है जो कंप्लीट ऑल द प्रोडक्ट्स, वो भी कम हो जाती है हमारे पास आने के बाद. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी आर टारगेटिंग.
that's great, but मैं अगर बिजनेस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखता हूँ तो मुझे वहां पे completely different फील्ड के 50 लोगों को हैंडल अप करना है, on the employee side as well as on the client side. So how difficult it is to manage this kind of diversity?
So my career that helped me a lot because मैंने काफी सारी इंडस्ट्रीज में काम किया. I've been working in molding industry as well. I've been working in CAD center as a design trainer, जहाँ पे मैं students को काफी सारे design courses कराता था. So I got to learn about those softwares and those technical skills in those particular fields, like architecture field में क्या होता है, civil field में क्या होता है, interior field में क्या होता है. As well as when I learned digital marketing, तो उसके बारे में भी काफी कुछ पता चला कि digital marketing के processes क्या हैं. So grabbing those knowledge from different fields, वो मेरे लिए easy है आज अपने customers के साथ communicate करने के लिए, अपने freelancers के साथ communicate करने के लिए, so that I can give them the right idea कि हम क्या हमको achieve करना है, कैसे हमको achieve करना है, and then they start working on that. वैसे ही कस्टमर्स को भी हमें मैनेज करने में हेल्प मिलती है, बिकॉज कई बार कस्टमर्स को खुद भी नहीं पता होता है व्हाट दे आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड फॉर. उनको वो एक रिक्वायरमेंट लेके आते हैं, मुझे मोल्ड डिजाइन करना है, बट एक्चुअल प्रोसेस इज कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट. लाइक यस्टरडे आई हैड अ कस्टमर, वो आके मुझे बोलते हैं कि मुझे इस चीज़ का मोल्ड बनाना है, बट उनके माइंड में कहीं कोई कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं था कि इसका मुझे प्रोटोटाइप भी बनाना है, इसका 3D डिजाइन भी बनाना है एंड एवरीथिंग. सो वी गाइडेड देम कि भी आपको ये जो आप प्रोसेस कर रहे हो, इस तरीके से आप मोल्ड बनाओगे, इट विल कम्प्लीटली वेस्ट योर मनी. हम इस तरीके से कर सकते हैं, ये दिस इज द प्रोसेस, इसमें हम ये सारी चीजें देंगे. तो दैट कस्टमर वाज कन्विंस्ड, ही सेड मैं अब किसी दूसरे पर्सन के पास जाऊंगा नहीं, आप प्लीज मुझे कोटेशन दो एंड वी विल वर्क टुगेदर. सो इतनी सारी अलग अलग फील्ड की नॉलेज लेना वाज हेल्पफुल फॉर डीलिंग विद क्लाइंट.
एंड जनरलाइजेशन इन जनरल भी कभी काफी फायदेमंद होता है. आई थिंक दैट इज वन ऑफ द
बिल्कुल
बेस्ट थिंग्स दैट एनीवन कैन लर्न फ्रॉम दिस, कि जितना भी नो डाउट इतनी सारी चीजों में इतना सारा एक्सपीरियंस लेके भी यू स्टिल कम आउट ऑफ इट एज अ प्रॉपर पैकेज. So thanks a lot. I will head to our next speaker, but we'll surely come up with more questions for you in the question and answer round. Our next speaker is Yuvika Gupta. She is host, producer, and founder of the UV show, which is soon going to be launched on CNBC Awaaz. Her idea and her thought is to connect people with themselves, for them to explore the unexplored. Hello, Yuvika. Welcome to the Yatri story.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me here.
We are also glad that you could take out time and share your story with all the audience over here. To start with, can you tell us how you have gone through two educational journeys and come out of it in a very different way?
Okay, so it's interesting that you ask about two educational journeys. So I am a chartered accountant, as you introduced me, and the other educational experience that you must be mentioning about is dropping out from Babson.
Yes.
So CA happened because in school, when you don't know much, all you know about is a few subjects. On basis of that, I decided I want to go ahead because I loved business, I loved accounting, auditing, and not even midway of CA, I realized that I like to study this, but I would not want to do something like make a career out of it. And also I had this kida since the beginning that I want to do masters in management, I want to do MBA, वही जो एक cliche dream होता है, and which is not wrong, of course. When I say cliche, it's not wrong. So आई थिंक सीए के बीच में आई रियलाइज कि मैं कुछ क्रिएटिव करूंगी, अपना खुद का कुछ करूंगी. एंड आफ्टर सीए, because I flunked so much, मैं थक ली थी. I was like, CA हो गया, let's go abroad and study. This whole fancy world of studying abroad was kind of taking me away from the boredom that I had experienced during CA. तो उन दोनों चीज़ों के बीच में talk show happened. And that is the true entrepreneurial experience that I had in life. Because when I went to Babson, I realized that there's not much entrepreneurial about it. Again, it's another business, and it's happening in a classroom, and real life does not happen in a classroom. And with other factors also contributing to the dropout, I finally decided to drop out. So that is how my educational journey has been.
That's very interesting. But something that inspires me much more than that is that for me, my imagination started out that, okay, I do not understand what holds in the future, especially during what is happening right now. And I started a podcast, understanding the future. The title itself is named around it. For you, you wanted to be inspired and you started a talk show. Like, the vision completely like is much more far wider reaching and everything. So how did you come up with the whole idea of starting a talk show and leading it on the front?
Right. So the talk show is a medium. The vision came first. The vision was to share stories about people, especially. So it originated from interviewing, like not interviewing, but sharing stories of people in the CA industry. Because we have started knowing about entrepreneurs, we're making them famous, PR is happening, and that's incredible, right? This is inspiring so many people to take up their entrepreneurial journey. But CA में ऐसा इतना कुछ नहीं था. There's such brilliant people in CA fraternity, but we don't know about them. And also I wanted to do something to enhance the brotherhood there, like जैसे जागृति यात्रा का network है, right? Oh यात्री, oh बता क्या काम है, we're there for each other. So when that vision came into picture कि inspiration stories को share करना है, then we started thinking कि किस तरह से करेंगे, कौन सा platform. The very first thing that came out of my mouth was TV पे करते हैं. And then my father said, no, TV will be very expensive for your first project. Moving on, social media. Social media never clicked to me. But then again, as I went with everybody's advice, karte karte karte, the vision got it took a different shape, because when you talk to the target audience, you realize what they really need. And us dauran I learned कि I want to share stories of people who have gone beyond their degree and done something very different, because uh, there are so many limitations in people's mind कि भाई इतना जिंदगी लगा दी डॉक्टर बनने में, लॉयर बनने में, सीए बनने में, अब क्या करना है, अब यही करना पड़ेगा, even if they're not happy. That's what I wanted to change. So करते 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 we ended up signing up with TV. करना वही था जो करना है. And also we'll be putting the show on OTT. OTT was also my dream platform, but then I realized कि इससे कोई far-fetched dream कुछ नहीं होता है. You just have to find ways to get there. You'll get there. ऐसे कुछ नहीं होता कि अच्छा 5 साल के बाद करेंगे. मुझे सब बोलते थे कि पहला प्रोजेक्ट यहाँ सोशल मीडिया, फिर दूसरा प्रोजेक्ट भी सोशल मीडिया, फिर एक बड़ा स्पॉन्सर, फिर और बड़ा स्पॉन्सर, then TV, then OTT. And that never clicked to me.
Yeah. And you chose a path which was like, okay, I'll jump. I'm not going to just be walking around what people say.
Yeah.
That's very brave and courageous of you for sure. But can you share a bit of experience of organizing this whole thing? Because this sounds a lot of organizational thought process that also goes in, because when you are talking about developing any show, you are talking about researching about the speaker to managing production, post production, and then getting sponsors as well. So any journey on those lines would also, I think, be helpful for our audience.
So first of all, I had no idea how to do this. I'm not from this industry. So it was a lot of fun to figure out. And I also learned कि I like to figure out. मतलब अभी familiarity हो गई थोड़ी सी मीडिया इंडस्ट्री में. So I'm thinking कि अब कुछ थोड़ा सा अलग इंडस्ट्री में जाते हैं, figure out करेंगे. So this is what I learned. I love to figure out. So production happened in a very short duration. उससे पहले जो पूरा उसके लिए हमने prepare किया था was a lot of fun again. So speakers हमारे सिर्फ CAs नहीं थे, CAs जो आगे किसी और इंडस्ट्री में गए हैं. So उनको ढूंढना was a big task. Google, network, calling people, random places I'm posting कि I want to meet this person. So for example, there's a group called Network Capital on Facebook.
Yeah.
मैंने वहाँ पे डालता है Mumbai for 5 days. I want to meet people who are in production and a few more other people. I don't remember. And there is this award called Rex Karmaveer Award, instituted by United Nations. Somebody saw that post, got to know about my show, never asked me, just got to know. And then I get a message next day that you've been nominated for the award. And then from the same post, somebody recommended a speaker.
Yeah.
So I am a hardcore believer of random things happening. Out of nowhere, things show up. And the more I believe in this, the more amazing things show up. So I don't think there is a guide to find. I did try to find a guide. There's no guide to anything. Yeah, so it was a lot of research and doing things here and there. That's how we found our speakers. That's how I found my production team. Um, yeah. What else would you like to know? I'm sorry.
And on lines of then post production and sponsorship as well.
Yeah. So then came the production. So since the day I was born, I love asking questions. It comes very naturally to me. But then studio mein jab hum aaye, that was the first time that I saw my whole studio, because everything happened very quickly because I had to leave for US. So everything happened in a span of 3 months. So I was very confident. But then जब सामने 3 cameras, lights, पूरा crew, सामने एक दिग्गज speaker, I was so nervous. I think I was terrible at it. But the great news is that I got better.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad कि videos में नहीं दिख रहा that how freaked out I was. But yes, this is a great news. And when you're in that situation where you're so nervous and you're like, this is how it will be, like I don't think I'm great at it, right? That's the thought that goes in your head. That's not true. You do get better at something that you keep on doing. एक्सपीरियंस होता है. वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन खुद आने लगी थी, मुझे नहीं पता था वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन कैसे करते हैं. एक इंटरव्यू में रियलाइज, ओ माय गॉड, इज दिस माय वॉइस? सो एंड प्रोडक्शन वाज सो the most beautiful thing about a production time was that the speakers and the team, we gelled so well. हम स्पीकर को 2 घंटे के लिए बुलाते थे, ठीक है, कुछ ना कुछ करके इट वुड एक्सटेंड. सबका, काफी लोगों का फर्स्ट टाइम था, मेरा फर्स्ट टाइम था, स्पीकर्स का भी फर्स्ट टाइम होता था. एंड वी वुड शूट फॉर 5 hours. मतलब पूरा कैमरा 5 घंटे नहीं चलता था, बट ऑन एंड ऑफ. एंड देन सच अमेजिंग स्पीकर्स. एंड थोड़े टाइम बाद उनके आने के बाद ऐसा होता था कि मिठाइयाँ बट रही है, बिस्किट खा रहे हैं, मजाक कर रहे हैं, गाने चल रहे हैं, ऐसा हमारा प्रोडक्शन था. We would start early in the morning and sometimes you would wrap up by 10-11 and it never felt like work, and I would go home super pumped up. So, and because of this, it's not just a project, I see it in my life. It uh, gave me an evidence कि business is joy for me. सीधी सी बात है. Like I have seen people, it's there that you got to work really hard, you got to struggle, suffer, whatnot. But like I have understood this, कि work is fun. If it's not, something needs to change.
Absolutely. And I think we have a paucity of time, but I would still like to take one last question on this. And that is, this whole thing requires and comes up with a lot of mental pressure. And it's very important that that is considered for any entrepreneur or any person who's doing their own business or any kind of work. What kind of advice would you give? Because you would have also gone through that same pressure, education change kiya, career shift kiya, everything. What advice would you give to any entrepreneur on terms of mental health and how can they manage?
Good question. Last question. uh, okay. So, for that, the most important thing is, so it's a question that you ask yourself regularly. I ask this on a daily basis. How connected are you to yourself? And you can never say कि आज तो it's done. I have reached that mark. Every day you're exploring. Why? Because every day you're changing. So it's like our space is so cluttered with outside factors, which will always be there. Again, it's not wrong. But then how much do we take time to ask, okay, what's true for me in every aspect, in business, in relationships, with family, and it might be difficult in the beginning to do what you truly desire. Pehle to figure out what you truly desire and then to pursue it, especially when your family or like your society in general is they don't follow what you think करना चाहिए. ठीक है. So I believe like being connected to yourself is very important to have uh, great mental health. And pressure का अब I have learned कि it's a perspective. अभी बैठे बैठे भी आप प्रेशर ले सकते हो. अभी मैं पर्सपेक्टिव दे दूंगी, आप प्रेशर ले सकते हो. But then when you are pressurized, तब भी एक perspective, you can just let that go with another perspective. And again, and this is not some theoretical thing that I'm sharing, because I think I have struggled a lot with mental health and I have had enough. So I am to fully committed to work on myself every day. So you got to be active with, romancing with yourself. It's super important. Date yourself, basically. Woo yourself.
Yeah, and that does sound. I do agree with you that mental health is important. It is important to figure out yourself, because have been through not the worst episodes, but failure of a business does teach you that how important it is to care about yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Yuvika, for sharing
Thank you.
interesting things about your life and your show. And I hope you get a strong mental health as well as a successful the UB show.
Thank you.
So we will move on to our question and answer session. And before I take anyone's question, I have a specific question for Chetan. Just perks of being a moderator. So Chetan, one thing I'm really curious about, you are an author yourself now, and what kind of suggestions would you give to any budding authors or someone who wants to start writing? What is the process? When can they approach you?
I think somebody who wants to start writing, the first step would be to write, to like write anything. That is, I think, the first step. Sometimes we think that we have to like write very vocabulary filled or very great things, but I think you can start with your Facebook statuses or Facebook messages only for that matter, or probably putting in captions for your pictures if you're doing that, if you're on social media. Otherwise, probably reading is the second step. So reading and writing would have to go hand in hand, but what I suggest is that you can start small rather than you can starting thinking of starting something big. I think reading a newspaper is also considered to be a very good activity. And for writing, I would suggest yeah, start writing and participate in things. Participate in like follow pages and see that okay, where is which pages are there which are inviting content from like users or from people from general people, and submit your writing. Approaching us is like very easy. You can approach us through social media on Facebook and Instagram. You can just messages and we reply very fast and all that. So approaching us is like not a problem. We have not reached that stage to create a module for writing as such, Abhi, for now, because I think it's very subjective. So there is no process as such, because some people will have a very different schedule or very different process to write. The first step you need is a little bit of discipline, that I think, and that is needed for like anything for that matter. If you are learning anything and if you are practicing anything, I think the first thing you need is discipline. So that kind of discipline should be there, that okay, something has to be written every day, something of sort, and you can have like small notes. Even Facebook has this option of notes where you can actually put down your notes, and that is there. So I think people should start from there, from their captions, from their own captions, because that will get them into the process of scribbling. So that scribbling is important before you actually reach the writing stage.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. I'm not sure when I'm going to start that, but hopefully soon.
Yeah.
So Ishani, you had a couple of questions. Would you like to ask them, or should I ask them for you?
I can ask them. I also have an overarching question which I'll ask at the end if there are no other questions. But one of my questions is to Asta. I haven't asked this on the chat, but so I mean, we hear a lot about the crafts in the country. Both Asta and Mudit, you work with artisans of the, across the country. Mudit works across 15 states, you said, the whole country. So, as far as I'm aware, India is really diverse in terms of the crafts. So, what, in your opinion, since you're working with on both sides, what is the awareness quotient on our side, on the market side, of all these crafts? And for instance, the knowledge about what is authentic and what is the detail that goes into these crafts, and what is the effort that goes into it, and how can that be sort of pushed to the extent that people really, you said that they need to become market ready, but how does the market become ready for them as well?
Hello. Good question,
Yeah.
Ishani. Yeah. So I think we have to make consumer aware about the craft, and that many of the initiatives are doing now, and many of the artisans, producers, or the organizations who are dealing in craft, they are also showing the process behind it. So that and there was this initiative that I made your clothes. तो उससे भी एक पता चलता है कि where your cloth is, where your fabric or where your product is coming from. तो एक तो वो है, और your question was like how did you build this community of artisans. So I had when I joined IICD, there from the college itself we got interacted with the artisan and community. तो वहीं से हम लोगों को एक बेस मिलता जा रहा था, and yeah, so from there, and then फिर जब जैसे जैसे मैं workshops और डिजाइन डेवलपमेंट वर्कशॉप्स में काम कर रही थी, वहां से भी मेरे पास में एक और आर्टिसन डेटा कलेक्ट होता जा रहा था. So this is one more thing, and what else? Did I
Thanks.
answer?
Yeah.
Maybe Mudit, you can pitch in from your experience.
I think what I understood was that Ishani wanted to understand if the market is ready for handmade handicrafts, basically. Is that correct, Ishani?
Yes, and also more from the perspective of the fact that there are so many Chinese. Chinese is not exactly Chinese, but it's just a pseudonym for what we mean by mass production and quick production, which is very different from handloom, where it takes maybe hours to create even just one small thing. So how does the market that's so into quick products which are cheap accept something which takes so much love and labor and effort, which is a part of our culture also?
See, point number one, people are not aware of handicrafts. People do not know the intricacies that go behind it, and they do not know how to figure out if something is authentic or something is not. So that's point number one. So even जो जो भी क्राफ्ट थोड़ा सा फेमस होने लगता है उसका कॉपी बन के आता है बाजार में and that is obviously cheaper and people want to buy it. I don't blame people, to be honest. Not everybody can really, afford a nice fancy painting from say, Picasso. तो वही हालात यहाँ पे है कि सब लोग नहीं खरीद सकते handicrafts. It is expensive. It's ought to be expensive, and उसके जगह आप पेंटेड पिकासो खरीद सकते हो. So that is for the masses. So I really don't blame people. And in terms of making people aware, जो हमारा 5 p.m. Sunday 5 p.m. show है, उसमें हम basically यही कर रहे हैं कि artisans को लेके आ रहे हैं. And for example, we did a show with Ajrak Printing. Ajrak is a hand block printing जो कि बहुत ही specific सामान से होता है और बहुत ही specific community इसको करती है. तो उनका पूरा फैक्ट्री, वो पूरा प्रोसेस एंड ऑल सॉर्ट्स ऑफ थिंग्स एंड आर्टिजन से बात एंड आर्टिजन से क्वेश्चन आंसर. सो आई थिंक बहुत सारे लोग इंटरेस्टेड तो हैं, लेकिन ब्रांड उनको आर्टिजन के पास तक लेके नहीं जाना चाहते. पॉइंट नंबर वन, बिकॉज इट डजंट मेक बिजनेस सेंस. आप आर्टिजन से डायरेक्ट कस्टमर को नहीं कनेक्ट करवाना चाहते हो. सो अगर आप वो करवाओगे तो आई थिंक बिजनेसेस के लिए ज्यादा फायदा है. टू बी ऑनेस्ट, आपको एज अ बिजनेस आपको ज्यादा काम करना पड़ेगा, बट आई थिंक इट्स मोर प्रॉफिटेबल इफ यू connect people directly with artisans. So I think a lot of small businesses and other brands have to do it, have to make people aware कि ये असली है. So people might take an extra effort to figure out कि ये असली है ये नकली है, and I will just not buy 5 things. I'll just buy one and I'll buy the authentic. That's what it's moving.
I have one more add-on to this. Like if you go to any craft cluster, अभी जिस तरह से जो मुदित बता रहे हैं कि how do you connect with the artisans, तो एक और चीज़ है कि ये जो भी crafts हैं ये पर्टिकुलर, अगर आपको पता है कि अभी अजरक की बात करी, आपको पता है अजरक कहाँ होता है. एक अजरकपुर फेमस है, धमड़का है, वहाँ पे आप जाओ, वहाँ पे देर आर क्लस्टर्स. तो ऐसे कि हर थोड़ी वॉक पे आपको आर्टिसंस मिल जाएंगे जो काम कर रहे होंगे. तो दिस इज वन ऑफ द वे वेर यू कैन डायरेक्टली रीच. यू जस्ट हैव टू फाइंड आउट वन पर्टिकुलर प्लेस. एक गांव आपको पता चल गया ये विलेज है, यहाँ पे ये सारा काम होता है, वहाँ पे आपको पर्टिकुलर और भी artisans मिल जाएंगे. So this is one way that if somebody wants to do a business, they can connect with the artisans if they are not getting.
I think I'd like to add कि अभी तो on paper जितना easy लग रहा है ये, but नहीं on paper जितना easy लग रहा है, but this is the actual process जो मैंने follow किया था to figure out and find out artisans. And 3 years back जब आप कहीं पे पहुंच जाते हो, फॉर एग्जांपल मैं गुजरात के क्राफ्ट स्टोर ढूंढने के लिए, आई हैड नो क्लू कि कहाँ पे क्या है. आई जस्ट रीच्ड अहमदाबाद एंड देन वहाँ से छोटे छोटे विलेजेस में. सो विलेज के एक्टिव क्लस्टर के आउटस्कर्ट्स पे मोटे सेट्स बैठे होते हैं वो हैंडीक्राफ्ट बेचने के लिए, एंड दे विल ट्राई टूथ एंड नेल टू नॉट लेट यू रीच द आर्टिजन. देन point number 2, if you reach one artisan, he will tell you कि यहाँ तो दूसरा कोई artisan ही नहीं है मेरे अलावा, I am the only one. So they will try to stop you कि आप बस यहीं जाओगे और आप कहीं नहीं जाओगे. So these are the kind of hurdles. ये मतलब ठीक है, I work for the artisans, but ऐसा नहीं है कि बस artisans एकदम ऐसे
नहीं, I agree on to that.
So these are the kind of challenges. So
but I think I had the benefit because I have studied the craft and design. तो मुझे सारे processes हम लोग ने study किए हैं और clusters को भी study किया है, तो शायद वो मेरे पास में एक added on advantage था, तो मैं इसलिए कोई भी village में जाती community में और I'll see नहीं भैया ये सही नहीं है ये आप मुझे गलत बता रहे हैं, मैं जानती हूँ कि आप क्या.
Yeah, that is the right process to do it. पहले पढ़ के जाना चाहिए. I did not read. मैं तो वहाँ जाके and then I understood the process from them. और बहुत लोगों ने बहुत पागल बनाया. So artisans ऐसा नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं. So
I just wanted to
all
add.
this authenticity and everything, I'll recommend you a book called Handmade in India by Aditi Jain. तो उसमें पूरा इंडिया में जितनी भी क्राफ्ट्स हैं उसके बारे में छोटा-छोटा डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया है.
Thanks, Astha.
Any other question does any audience member have? Okay, so then I'll again go with the craft and art, and so while I was talking to Asa, I got to know about very interesting things that government does for handicraft industry. And if Asta, you could share something on those lines, I think that would be interesting for the audience.
Yeah, so हमारी एक तो डिजाइन वर्कशॉप्स के बारे में बात,
डिजाइन वर्कशॉप्स वाली बात हो गई.
और उसके अलावा फिर एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं जो आइका का मैं बता रही थी उस वक्त भी. तो क्राफ्ट मार्क एक इनिशिएटिव है जिससे भी आप ट्रैक ऑन कर सकते हैं एंड दे हैव डॉक्यूमेंटेड वेरियस प्रोसेस. तो जैसे अभी शानी और मुदित आप लोगों को अगर कोई और अब प्रोसेस कि वो ऑथेंटिक है कि नहीं, वो प्रोसेस आप उसमें चेक कर सकते हो कोई भी क्राफ्ट के बारे में. तो वेरियस लिस्ट ऑफ क्राफ्ट्स दे हैव डॉक्यूमेंटेड द प्रोसेस. This authenticates that it is a genuine handcraft product. And,
okay. And specifically how that process, अगर आप थोड़ा depth में बताएं that how the whole marketing journey for any artist is taken into account, because that is where I feel that a lot of handicrafts are still there. It's just that a lot of marketing also needs to be pushed out. और उस level पे अगर किसी तरह से, I'm not sure how this will happen or कौन करेगा, but just a thought process between you and Mudit might also be great enough on those lines, because you do work with them, you do understand the challenges in that ecosystem. So वैसा कुछ काफी interesting होगा.
मुद्दत आप बोलना चाहेंगे कुछ?
In terms of marketing and bringing new products market में and all that jazz, I think ये over the couple of years पीछे कुछ सालों में already बहुत fast हो चुका है. And अगर इससे ज़्यादा तेज हुआ तो there will be a time when ऐसा लोग बोलेंगे कि इसका तो fashion out हो गया है. So I think जिस speed से ये आ रहा है, it is a nice speed, and ये ऐसे ही धीरे-धीरे चलना चाहिए. A lot of artisans have come out to the cities. बहुत सारी जगहों पे वो लोग आ रहे हैं, बहुत सारे बाकी भी हैं, and I think जो बाकी हैं उनको लाने का काम ऐसे small brands या छोटे brands कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि the benefit is छोटा artisan gives you a better price, so small business के लिए बहुत अच्छा price है वो. तो अगर ऐसे कुछ और businesses हैं जो इस तरीके के काम में involved हैं और वो छोटे artisans से अपना सामान बनवाते हैं या नया प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन करते हैं, तो उनके लिए बहुत इजी होता है rather than एक नेशनल अवार्डी आर्टिजन के पास जाना और उनको कहना कि मेरे 10 ये बना दो. So I think
उनका प्राइस थोड़ा हाई हो जाता है. नेम मिलके फेम मिलके थोड़ा
सर्टिफिकेट मिलने के बाद तो वो 2x प्लस ही हो जाता. तो I think ये जो ट्रैक पे हैं अभी हैंडमेड एंड आर्टिजन मेड क्लोथिंग एंड हैंडीक्राफ्ट, I think it's already enough. अभी बहुत ज्यादा स्पीड में हो जाएगा तो बहुत गड़बड़ हो जाएगी।
नहीं, आई थिंक मुदित, क्योंकि हम लोग ये देखते हैं इसलिए हमको लगता है कि ये इनफ है। सेम चीज मेरे साथ में भी है। जब मैं भी काम कर रही थी और ये तो आई वुड थिंक यार कितना ज्यादा हो गया है अभी। हर कोई इस हैंडीक्राफ्ट्स में काम करना है, सबको अजरक में काम करना है अभी, और सबको अजरक आर्टिसंस चाहिए, तो एवरीबॉडी विल लाइक अजरक बहुत है। अच्छा, फैब इंडिया ने लॉन्च किया है अजरक, तो अभी अजरक को ही सब में सबको काम करना है। तो आई थिंक एक और चीज है कि ये हम लोग हैं जो, क्योंकि हम इससे डील करते हैं और हम इसी को और आई डोंट नो, ये सोशल मीडिया का भी थोड़ा खेल है इसमें, क्योंकि हम पूरे टाइम अपने रिलेटेड चीजें देखते हैं तो हमको वही वही और ज्यादा दिखता है। तो आई थिंक कि शायद ये हम ही देखते हैं इसलिए हमको लग रहा है कि ज्यादा है, बट अभी भी जरूरत है कि और लोगों को ये पता चले और लोग रीच करें। और हैंडीक्राफ्ट्स और इसके लिए मैं एक और चीज बोलूंगी कि द वे यू आर आल्सो सेइंग कि हम लोगों को अपना जो मास प्रोडक्शन में हम खरीदते हैं कि वो है फटाफट से चीप है, खरीद लो, ले लो, और वी वुड हैव 10 more नंबर ऑफ शर्ट्स और टी शर्ट्स और बहुत सारे हैं, और उसका जो है लॉन्ग टाइम नहीं है। हम उसको क्या करेंगे, थोड़े दिन में बोर हो गया, निकाला, फेंक दे, ठीक है चीप ही था, अगला खरीद लेंगे। तो हम लोगों की जो टेंडेंसी है ना वो वैसी बनने लग गई है। रादर देन दैट आई थिंक कि अब मैं इसको ट्रेडिशनली अगर जोड़ूँ तो हमारी मम्मी और दादी लोग ना हम लोगों के लिए स्वेटर्स बुनती थी। क्राफ्ट भी वही चीज है, तो इसी तरह से हम उसको कितने प्यार से उसको संभाल के रखते थे कि वो उन्होंने हमारे लिए बनाया है। सेम वे इफ यू थिंक अबाउट बाइंग एनी हैंडमेड प्रोडक्ट, इफ यू थिंक इट एज अ सेम वे कि यार किसी ने तुम्हारे लिए वो बहुत अच्छे से बनाया है, उसमें कितने लोग एम्प्लॉय हुए हैं, अगर आप उसको सोच के भी एक प्रोडक्ट कॉन्शियसली खरीदोगे तो आई वुड से इट विल प्रमोट मोर। We have to.
I'm sorry, I have to say something. I don't have an answer for this, but I think it doesn't make economic sense to be selling a lot of expensive one-time juices. I mean, something a slow fashion, for example. I don't know if it makes economic sense, and I have no answer to this question. So I think. To be honest, handicrafts don't make a lot of commercial, capitalist, economic sense. So I don't know economies कैसे काम करेंगी अगर सब लोग handicraft से खरीदेंगे, सब लोग slow fashion से खरीदेंगे. So I don't know what's the answer to this.
That surely is an interesting question to have a debate and discussion on that. Will slow fashion ever be at a spot where economies fall down? So Ishani, you had some overarching question.
Yeah. So actually, I have to confess that this has been my most like I've been looking forward to this panel since I conceptualized the whole thing, even before the first panel. Just because I'm a creative person myself, like 1/4 of my life goes for creative pursuits, and so it's very encouraging to see all of you making livelihoods out of it for yourself, for everybody else. So firstly, congratulations on that. My overarching question, and this is to everyone, and maybe we should go in the opposite order, so maybe Shreya should start, or Yuvika, sorry. A lot of people have that stereotype, ki art matlab garibi. So given your journey, how do you feel you're challenging that stereotype where creativity can also be thought of as a professional means to survive just as much as engineering and MBA and doctors and CAs do?
Shall I start?
Yeah, you can go first.
So I have experience just with my industry, and I don't think it's in an industry specific question, in my opinion, rather than it's a perspective on money that we have. So since it's there everywhere that art doesn't give you money, that's exactly what we follow, whether we are consciously doing it, subconsciously doing it. So that's what I also started with. And I did understand कि इस level पे at this stage where I am, how much money OTT will give me and how much money TV will give me, which platform will give me how much viewership. When I got present to that, when I got that information, I made a mix of it to make sure that I get the eyeballs for the show and I get the money that I desire, which is way beyond, way beyond what I was advised that the show can make. I emphasize on way beyond. So it was because I also started with that mindset कि नहीं ज़्यादा नहीं मिलेगा, वैसे भी पहला शो है और बहुत competition industry में. And then it was a journey to basically first let that opinion go, belief go, and then look at, okay, what do I desire and where can I get that from? And when you get that sense, it gives you another level of confidence, not just to make money but to make a bigger product, and also to make your product visible to a larger audience, which so many people advised me won't really be possible जो मैं aim कर रही थी. So I think it's a mindset. Again, that is something which I've learned from my experience. You guys would have a different story to tell.
Shreya, would you like to go?
Yeah, sure. So I feel that sometimes we have to trade one thing for another. For example, when I started, I did not care too much about how much I was earning. It was more about exposure. And then those experiences keep adding up. I think they make you get an idea कि अच्छा इस field में ये चीजें होती हैं. And now I've taken some experience in all of these. Now maybe you'll feel better equipped to go to a company and do a full-time job and use all those experiences in those jobs. So initially जब मैं freelancing कर रही थी, that is when I thought कि I'm sure writers actually do not get paid. मतलब कुछ थोड़ा थोड़ा initially I was getting this thing कि writing तो कोई भी कर लेगा, what is the big thing about it? So I just felt that maybe people look at it in a certain manner at certain places, and that's why the low salaries or remunerations, etc. But then I think creative person की creativity इसमें भी आनी चाहिए कि how to earn. So that is what I kept thinking about कि मुझे करना यही है. I'm sure I want to do more in writing. But what is the way to generate income? So I am a very everything at once वाला person कि मुझे ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, and that is not possible if you are in one job. So you'll have to pick projects very carefully कि अच्छा ठीक है, मुझे suppose environment के लिए काम करना है, so I'm taking this project. I know I'll not get money here, but I'm just doing it for my soul. Okay, this project, I know I'm not too invested in it emotionally, but I find their work pretty decent, and it's something that I, on some level, resonate with also. So I'll do this for money. So थोड़े categorizations मतलब मैंने तो बना रखे हैं. So hence the number of projects that I tend to take up sometimes. So I don't feel that there is an issue with creative things not being remunerated properly, but इसमें मैं थोड़ा सा कहूँगी कि luck also plays थोड़ा सा role, as in जैसे जो मेरी first job थी, it gave me a kick somewhere. अगर शायद एक so there was an editor-in-chief who believed that okay, I'll be able to do this, so I got that. But had that not happened, I don't know if I would have been in this field at all. And then secondly, there are so many ways these days to make money. If you're a writer, you can, or if you're in any other field, there are so many platforms. You just need to start you need to be courageous enough कि हाँ ठीक है, whatever I am doing, you know, I believe in my whatever I am doing, and ठीक है, let's give it a try. तो वो जो जब trial नहीं होता ना, तो I think that is where the problem comes in. Like that's just what I feel.
Rehan, would you have some comments?
Yeah, I do have some comments because we are in this design service-based industry. जहाँ पर you can see आप Facebook अगर आज खोलोगे, so there are n number of people. अगर आप logo search करोगे, there are people who are doing logos in hundreds of as well. तो वहाँ पर competition इतना है market में कि अगर आप सिर्फ उसको देखते रहोगे तो आप कभी कमा भी नहीं पाओगे, because आप competitor से कितना नीचे जाओगे. So this is not going to happen with us. So what I personally believe is it is not about not more about creativity. क्या आप क्या कर रहे हो, आप क्या नहीं कर रहे हो. It is about others. It is about your customers. So we don't focus on creating things बहुत ज़्यादा के यार नहीं ये हमें बहुत uniquely डिजाइन करना है, बहुत अलग से डिजाइन करना है. All we focus is मेरे कस्टमर का प्रॉब्लम क्या है and how we can solve that problem using design. So उस केस में क्या होता है, कस्टमर्स को जो हम डिमांड करते हैं दे आर विलिंग टू पे. एंड द सेकेंड पार्ट इज ऑथेंटिसिटी. देयर आर एन नंबर ऑफ डिजाइनर्स, कंपनीज, फ्रीलांसर्स इन द मार्केट. वो क्या करते हैं, पैसा चार्ज करते हैं, काम करके बहुत घटिया देते हैं. सो इट स्टार्टेड इन 2017-18 आई गेस, जब मेरे पास हैदराबाद से एक क्लाइंट आए थे. ही वांटेड एन एसपीएम मशीन टू बी डिजाइन. उन्होंने कहीं से डिजाइन करवाया विद इन 14,000. और उसके बाद दे केम टू अस कि भाई वो बंदा बीच में डिजाइन करके छोड़ के चला गया है, अभी नाउ ही इज नॉट वर्किंग ऑन दैट. और मुझे क्लाइंट को कल सुबह 9 बजे प्रेजेंटेशन देना है एंड ही वांट दैट टू बी डिजाइन प्रॉपर्ली. सो आई स्टार्टेड विद दिस. मेरे पास सीपीयू था, मैं रात में गया, एक सिस्टम लेकर आया, सॉफ्टवेयर इंस्टॉल किया एंड वी गॉट ऑन द फेसबुक ग्रुप, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप, जहाँ पर हमने कॉन्वर्सेशन स्टार्ट किया कि आप बताओ क्या करना है. एंड आई स्टार्टेड चेंजिंग ऑल द टुगेदर. सो पूरा रात जागने के बाद सुबह 9 बजे व्हेन वी डिलीवर्ड इट टू द क्लाइंट, हमने पैसे की कोई बात नहीं की. मैंने कहा सर पहले आप प्रेजेंटेशन अपने क्लाइंट को दो, इफ इट वर्क्स तब हम पैसे की बात करेंगे. सो वी डिड दैट. जब काम हो गया उसके बाद दे आस्क्ड मी कि भाई कितना चार्ज हुआ वो तो बता दो. एंड आई कोटेड देम 18,000 फॉर द होल नाइट. तो दे सेड कि यार ये तो हमारा पूरा ओवरऑल डिजाइन से भी ज्यादा है. आई सेड द वे आई वर्क इज completely different from the other one. So they paid me literally that amount. कि नहीं, you worked so hard, आपने रात भर मेरे लिए काम किया, so this is the amount. And they recommended me to the other clients as well. And this is what happening right now when I started my business. हम एक कस्टमर के पास जाते हैं, उनको हेल्प करते हैं. We don't talk about money at all. We talk about helping them. और उसके बाद पैसा अपने आप आता है. और उसके जब हम देखते हैं कि हमारे क्लाइंट को हमने हैप्पी रखा है, तो हमें मार्केट में और लोगों को भी रिकमेंड करता है. सी वी हैव सीन अभी हमारे रिसेंट कुछ कस्टमर्स थे जिन्होंने अपने सिस्टर के वेंचर्स को भी हमें रिकमेंड किया फॉर द डिजाइन वर्क. उसके अलावा अपने आसपास के जो उनके नेटवर्क के लोग थे उनको भी
recommend किया. We got other people as well from social media marketing, digital marketing as well.
तो उसके साथ ही सेम चीज हमने की. They were being fraud by some company जिन्होंने 25,000 उनको चार्ज किया फॉर सोशल मीडिया मैनेजमेंट. और उन्होंने ओवरऑल जो उनका एड बजट होता है वो 400 रखा था फॉर द लाइफ टाइम. तो 25,000 से 400 का अगर आप बजट रख रहे हो तो दे हैव बीन ब्लफ्ड समहाउ. तो इनिशियली उनको हम पर भी ट्रस्ट नहीं हुआ एंड वी क्लियरली सेड आई टुक अ लीप ऑफ फेथ कि लेट्स डू वन थिंग, उनकी हेल्प करते हैं एंड वी विल सी कि क्या होता है. सो वी कोटेड देम सम अमाउंट कि भाई इसमें हम आपको सोशल मीडिया मैनेजमेंट करके देंगे. इफ यू आर नॉट हैप्पी बाय द एंड ऑफ द मंथ विद आवर सर्विसेज, आई विल पर्सनली पे यू बैक ऑल द अमाउंट. सो वी डिड दैट. और एक महीने काम करने के बाद येस्टरडे आई गॉट अ कॉल फ्रॉम हर कि मुझे नेक्स्ट मंथ के लिए भी कंटिन्यू करना है, मेरी फ्रेंड भी है उसके लिए भी कंटिन्यू करना है. सो दिस इज हाउ वी आर ग्रोइंग. तो पैसा आता है अगर आप दूसरों को हेल्प करना चाहो अपनी क्रिएटिविटी से, अपने टैलेंट से. जब आप लोगों की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करोगे तो डेफिनेटली दे आर विलिंग टू पे.
Chetan, any thoughts you would have?
Yeah. So actually, I would have like 2 points to say. One point I said in the actually Alum Meet also, in the Yatra Alum Meet which happened in Feb, that one is that there will be obviously a point when artists will start making money. अभी तो you can say that कि अगर आप pure artist हो ना, and I think I believe in that कि अगर आप pure artist हो तो आप थोड़े गरीब ही रहोगे इंडिया में. And it is only like Indian perspective. I will not say about the other countries, because at some point you will have to sell your art. अगर आपकी वही livelihood है तो आपको कभी ना कभी तो sell करनी पड़ेगी ना. And that is when the decision will come that how much and at what cost you want to like sell your art. So एक तो है societal point of view से that artists will start making money only when we start consuming art. As IT as such, when we start consuming art, only then you will start spending on art. And तभी तो जब एक्सपेंडिचर आएगा, जब वो पैसे आएंगे मार्केट में, तभी तो आर्टिस्ट को पैसे मिलेंगे. अगर आर्टिस्ट कहता है कि मेरी आर्ट की बहुत वैल्यू है लेकिन कोई खरीदने वाला ही नहीं है उसको, तो कौन उसकी वैल्यू देगा फिर वो. तो जो कि प्रॉब्लम हमारी सोसाइटी में एक प्रॉब्लम है, एंड उसकी प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं कह सकते. आई थिंक बिकॉज वी आर अ यंग नेशन दैट वे, बिकॉज वी आर जस्ट 70 years डिपेंडेंट हुए हैं, हमें अभी 70 साल ही हुए. वी कैनॉट कंपेयर विद यूके एंड यूएस जिनको 200-300 साल हो चुके हैं. तो उनकी 3-4 जनरेशन एक फ्री एटमॉस्फेयर में बड़ी हुई हैं, हमारी नहीं हुई है अभी. So we will take time to have that freedom and to have that ability to think beyond just the survival mode जो कि maximum जनता का है इस देश के अंदर, that we are in the survival mode only. we will think about art only once our basic needs are fulfilled ना. जब वो खाने का, रहने का और आपका पहनने का वो चीज फुलफिल होगा, तभी तो आप सोचोगे कि हाँ कि मुझे यार आर्ट में इन्वेस्ट करना है. जब तक वही चीजें पूरी नहीं होंगी आपकी, तो आप कैसे आर्ट में इन्वेस्ट करोगे. So once we start consuming art ourselves in some form or the other, वो कोई भी फॉर्म हो सकती है. आर्ट इज जस्ट नॉट पेंटिंग और लाइक एनीथिंग एल्स, जो कि एक नोशन में हमारे दिमाग में रहता है कि आर्ट है तो हाँ थोड़ा बहुत क्रेजी टाइप काम होगा. ऐसा कुछ जरूरी नहीं है. आर्ट इज लाइक एनीथिंग which you are creating. If you are able to create anything, that is like art. So as a society, you have to like consume art, one. And on an individual level, if you are an artist, then you need to know the art of economics as well, or the business of art. As I said, at some point you will have to sell your art. That आपको कैसे करना है. And yes, there are ways to money. There are obviously ways to make money. People have money to spend, लेकिन people don't know where to spend, because हमारा स्टार्टिंग से बहुत सालों से एक मूवी वाला फैसिनेशन रहा है या फिर स्पोर्ट्स में सिर्फ क्रिकेट वाला फैसिनेशन रहा है. तो आप खुद देख सकते हो कि दैट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम it is taking time, but things are happening slowly. पहले तो I would say an author would not be able to make any kind of money. आपके दिमाग में एक इमेज होती थी, तो वो कहता था कि मैं लेखक हूँ या मैं राइटर हूँ या मैं ऑथर हूँ. आप पहले सोच लेते थे कि गरीब ही होगा, अमीर तो नहीं हो सकता ये अगर ऑथर है तो. लेकिन आज एटलीस्ट कुछ तो है लोग, चाहे कम ही है, and obviously it is a very small number as compared to the huge country we have, but there is somebody who are making money just through their books, just through their royalties, or just through other activities which they are doing, and they are not dependent on anything else. So that also comes a question that what you are using your art for. If you are using it for livelihood, then you will have to know how the market works. If you are using it for hobby, then it's fine. Then obviously you can be finicky about it and I don't want to sell because you have another source of income. So when it is only your source of income, only one source of income, then obviously you will have to probably create revenue streams. It is difficult, but obviously it is not impossible, because now हमारे पास avenues बहुत सारे आ गए. As we also said, there are like so many platforms now you can go to as a writer or as any artist. There are various platforms. So try. You will have to like try and see that okay, how or where can I actually make money? And people are making money. It's not that the people are not making money, but yeah, I think the bottom line is money comes in like mass objects or like things. तो पैसे जो हैं अभी जो बहुत सारे पैसे हैं, as I think Mudit was mentioning about the capitalist commercialist capitalist economy, वो पॉसिबल हाँ जब अभी तक आई थिंक किसी ने कोई पता नहीं कर पाया कि आर्ट को कैसे आप उस कैपिटलिज्म के अंदर के उसमें डालो. जब वो वहां डलेगा तभी बहुत सारे पैसे आएंगे, और बहुत सारे पैसे मास वाली चीजों से आते हैं. तो कहीं ना कहीं तो आपको मास वाली चीजें भी करनी पड़ेंगी. यू कैन नॉट जस्ट स्टे नीश एंड जस्ट थिंक दैट आई कैन बी रिच. यू विल हैव टू बी अ मिक्सचर ऑफ नीश mass appeal things.
Very interesting thought over there. Mudit or Astha, would you have any points on these?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of points, and number one, I think Maslow's hierarchy of needs model जो है उससे related है कि आर्ट का नंबर सबसे बाद में है. So obviously it is very difficult to sell it, क्योंकि obviously पहले basic चीजें mass produce and XYZ, then probably जब सब कुछ दुनिया ने देख लिया तब probably then I think you can find it. So point number 2 is सारे आर्टिस्ट गरीब नहीं होते, सारे आर्टिस्ट अमीर नहीं होते. So I think अब कम पैसे या ज्यादा पैसे का probably डिफरेंस ये है कि बहुत सारे आर्टिस्ट बिजनेसमैन नहीं होते हैं या बिजनेस पर्सन नहीं होते हैं, तो वो अपने आर्ट से पैसा कमाना जानते नहीं हैं. कमा सकते हैं, पोटेंशियल है, बट probably they're not able to sell it. So I think ये बहुत ही blurred सा एक लाइन है कि आर्टिस्ट पैसे कमा सकता है या नहीं कमा सकता है. So there's no clear cut answer to it in my opinion, and I think this is more related to being able to do a business rather than it is about the art. So कुछ लोग जो बिजनेस नहीं कर पाते हैं या बिजनेस के तरीके से सोच नहीं पाते, वो शायद पैसे नहीं कमा पाते होंगे. ऐसा नहीं है कि आर्ट से पैसे नहीं कमाए जाते.
Agreed. I do resonate with that point. Astha?
I think what should I say? I've been in the field, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि नहीं, you can make money. It's about you, that what path you are choosing and how you are taking it ahead. तो जो हम लोगों की पहले भी डिस्कशंस हम बात कर रहे हैं कि आर्ट बहुत एक्सपेंसिव है, क्राफ्ट्स में भी बहुत एक्सपेंसिव हो रहा है. तो अगर हम इसमें अगर हम छोटे बिजनेसेस में बनाते हैं, लाइक इफ पर से आई से, बिकॉज अभी मैंने डिजाइन क्राफ्ट एंड डिजाइनिंग किया हुआ है, पीपल नो दैट आई हैव डन इट एंड आई हैव बीन वर्किंग विद कम्युनिटीज. सो आई सजेस्ट देम कि यू कैन बाय इट फ्रॉम देम, आई हैव बीन नोन. तो मैं अपने कनेक्शंस के थ्रू उन्हें वो कनेक्शंस देते जाती हूँ. तो उससे भी एक है कि यू हैव टू बी ट्रू टू द आर्टिसंस एंड यू हैव टू ट्रू टू योर कंज्यूमर्स एज वेल. तो यू जस्ट हैव टू मेक अ ब्रिज. एंड ऐसा है कि अपना मार्जिन ऐसा नहीं रखो कि आप बहुत हाई मार्जिन अपने रख रहे हो तो वो आर्ट ही सेलिंग प्राइस उसका इतना बढ़ जाए. यू कैन हैव अ नॉमिनल मार्जिन एट इनिशियल लेवल्स एंड टेक इट.
Thank you. Aditya, your thoughts on how can kids be more creative for future?
Yeah, thanks Ishani for putting that to me. I was planning on remaining silent for most part, but yeah.
It's most parts already, I think.
It's most part already, right. but great insights by every speaker here. I think, after that it's difficult to add anything, but mostly, what I tell kids is what I perceive as the reality is, we see that in engineering or any science related field, which is pretty highly commercial, something like medical science or something like maybe even the pure sciences, and when we compared it to the arts, I've seen statistically that lesser people tend to succeed in terms of financial stability in arts as compared to engineering. So I'll give you an example. I was an engineer by training. So in IT engineering, I was a very mediocre student. Like, I think mediocre is also overstating my abilities in that. But I somehow still got a job of 50K per month when I wasn't even preparing for placements. So I saw that these college placements spoon feed engineers with good jobs, but somehow this does not happen with somebody who is doing BA in English literature, who has probably scored much higher than me in boards to get an admission into that college, and is actually talented in his or her own field, but they don't get that kind of a college placement. So while an average engineer or a lesser than average engineer like me could be earning like 45,000 or 40,000 per month, for a BA in English literature, that's a dream for most, until and unless you're really good at your stuff, or, you are a great writer, or you have taken the time in college to build different skills. So I always tell students mostly, is mostly money, how we perceive it. And sometimes the social factor, like how are people perceiving us? What's my recognition or achievement in the society? But I think, career also includes your personal values, what you would really want to do and what you would want to do for the society. What does your life mean and what impact are you having? So people don't see it like that, but I encourage them, at least kids, to see it like that. mostly I think, people like me who have just graduated from college, or our parents, they don't think like that. So that's where I think our society has been shaped like this, that we only look at certain careers as top of the hierarchy, which shouldn't be the case. I think every career has its own place in contributing to the society. So creative arts has huge scope, but as I think Chetan correctly said, it's both demand and supply. So once the demand also starts getting created, I think that economy will itself correct itself, and more finances will start flowing towards the arts as well. But for now, I think it's for now statistically a bit skewed towards certain career options. So for kids to be creative, I think they should just follow their passion rather than getting too bogged down by the peer pressure that 10 other people are doing engineering, so let me do that, rather than creating a path of my own. I think we already have some extremely successful people sitting with us who can vouch for the fact that if you put your efforts in and exude passion, what can't be achieved in arts as well.
Absolutely, absolutely, that's true. And I hope more students or more kids try to go towards that, and just society changes that narrative and perspective towards kids. Uh, yes, Shreya, please add on to it. Mudit, I'll come to your question at the end.
Okay, so I just want to use an example to share something. So, it said that there's this example where they say that an elephant is tied to a chain. So that is what I feel was the situation earlier, where only medical or engineering used to be the fields. So वो पहले का situation था, and now I feel is that the elephant has been untied, the chain has been untied, but the conditioning of the animal is such that the elephant feels that I'm still tied. So I think we have a lot of opportunities these days, but वो कहीं पे mind में एक block रहता है कि maybe it is not possible. And like if somebody is not able to understand ki how to use their art to earn money, मतलब मेरे दिमाग में कभी-कभी ये वाली चीज आती है जैसे if there's anything that's happening in your life which is good or which is bad, you can use that to create art, because art is a very intuitive sort of a thing, and unless it is something that you are resonating with, तो आप दूसरे को भी वो चीज़ फील नहीं करा पाओगे जो आप एक्सप्रेस करना चाहते हो. So I just feel that even if you are in a like they say, make your mess your message, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
So something on those lines. You don't need to really sell your soul for that, but if any art form has to be needs to be converted into a business, तो कहीं ना कहीं तो I feel that will happen.
Yeah, that's true, and I really like this. Your mess is a message kind of saying. I've never heard this before, so that's quite amazing. So this is so I'll answer Mudit's question on what happened with my business and all. It's nothing related to arts. I have been an engineer most of my life. And post that, after finishing my masters in Netherlands, I came back to India. I started my company on rooftop solar ecosystem, and we were just trying to develop it in Mumbai over that time, and somehow policies did not align. We started, and in 6 months, so I will not say it was all government's fault, it was our fault as well. I'll point those things down as well, but some of the things that came in was demonetization, so all the cash went out. GST came in, business got affected, and then it just took us time to establish ourselves, and that time kind of cost us. Apart from that, I think me and my founder both were not the best business developers per se. We had technical knowledge, we understood technicality in a much better aspect than developing business. That is where we kind of lost. We still managed to get L&T Finance on board and started consulting with them. We tried with various other consulting firms as well, but did not work out. And overall, the look of solar, as rosy as it sounds from outside, is not that. that is a long story. I'll share some other day. I think we are already past our time. So that way, I'll just say that, yeah, you have to realize where you lack, make sure you can strengthen them, and go again in the business. And hopefully someday soon I'll start something else again. So that's my thought. Any specific points in terms of what not to do? I don't think so. I think it's depends on the business that you are talking about, and every business has their own aspects, and every business has their own learnings, and every business has their own market space. So just make sure that you understand that market space well. For us, when we started, our thought was that we are going to be very successful because solar was just coming and we were giving ROIs of more than 25-40% per annum, and we thought everyone would just lap it up, but that does not happen. So even though the proposition sounds fantastic from cost point of view, that does not always work out. And yeah, so I think that would be different for your industry, and that would be different for a freelancer. So that is, I think, a very different aspect that is not generalized per se. So thank you everyone for this wonderful time. If I can ask to put the contact list of all the speakers, so that anyone interested can reach out to them with any more questions, and I'm sure they will respond to you. Thank you everyone. Thanks a lot everyone for all your insights, your stories, and a special thank you to the whole organizing team: Aditya, Aru, Ishani, Pulkit, Vihan, and to Brijesh as well for reaching out and helping us with outreach.
And Punit is also organizing team. We obviously didn't take his name.
Yeah, thank you, Ishani. And we look forward to our next episode or next series coming in month of November.